Focus. I'm glad that you are joining me again this morning. We're getting some much needed rain and getting it as a super soaker. In other words, not a downpour, not even a steady drizzle, but almost like a mist like constant falling, which is really good for the grass and will help turn everything green and make it look healthy and vibrant. And we are so thankful that our God knows exactly what we need when we need it. Even the earth is refreshed when God says it's time. And so we're encouraged by another day to serve the Lord. And as we see the sovereignty of God and the love and care and grace of our God, it's so overwhelming to think that He would include us in His program and give us a chance to participate with Him. Well, I've entitled this one Caring for Others, and it's a very intimate story. Jesus is on the cross and he sees his mother. I cannot wrap my mind around the emotion that must have been on both of their parts. Jesus knowing what he was doing, but understanding that his mother wasn't going to be able to completely wrap her mind around what she was watching her son go through, seeing the very last moments of his life and before he was to die. Certainly, there was incredible emotion on Jesus's part, and then no doubt just unexplainable emotion on the part of Mary, his mother. And so the scriptures give us a little bit of an insight into this dynamic. And in verse 23, it says, Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Jesus, took his garments and made four parts, to every soldier a part, and also his coat. Now the coat was without seam, woven from the top throughout. They said, therefore, among themselves, Let us not rend it, but let's cast lots for it, whose it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which saith, They parted my raiment among them, and for my vestures did they cast lots. These things therefore the soldiers did. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother, and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by, whom he loved, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour the disciple took her into his own home. Well, we know that disciple to be John, the beloved disciple of Jesus. And he sees John, he sees his mother. There's incredible emotion. They're watching the soldiers fulfill scripture. They're watching all of what Jesus said would happen come. By the way, we're watching that real time in the world today. We're watching the scriptures unfold, whether people are really comprehending the clarity of the fulfillment of scripture, and how eschatological prophecies are being put in place, some of them ready to go. It's just amazing. But the disciples were in this place where all these things that Jesus taught are happening exactly the way they were said they would happen. The things that they had learned from the Old Testament were coming to fruition exactly the way they said that they would. And so we're going to look at that next week, a little bit about that incredible reality of how things happen exactly the way Jesus predicted they would be, but they always do. And that should encourage us, because it reminds us that though we can't see into the future, God does. Though we become anxious about decisions that are being made, God is not. He has it all under control. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Nothing ever occurs to God. Nothing ever takes him by surprise. He sees everything in real time. He knows exactly how it's happening, why it's happening, what is going to happen because of what is happening. God's got it all under control. What a very secure place for you and I to be. And in that, he reaches out to his mother and he says, Mom, your son, he's going to take care of you. Disciple, your mom, take care of her. And even in this moment, Jesus reminds us of the importance of being responsible with the tangible, real responsibilities. What a privilege it is to be able to care for our parents, to be able to look out for them, to make sure that their needs are being met, that they're being watched over. What a privilege it is for God to bring others into our lives that we can care for and watch over. And that was the case here with John, is that there was no family relation, but there became a responsible relationship. And it was simply God had given him a privilege to participate in the program of caring for his mother. And so he says, Mom, let him take care of you. Let this disciple take care of you as if he was a son. And disciple, you take care of my mother as if she was your own. And what a privilege it is to remind us that part of God's program is just caring for others, is meeting others' needs where they are, and what needs may become obvious, and that we enthusiastically embrace it. It doesn't say that the disciples like, all right, okay, somebody's got to do it. That's not the tone. The tone is that the disciple embraced this privilege and took her from that moment on into his home and cared for her. What a good reminder that as we end this week and we go into the weekend, life is really about a stewardship of caring for one another, specifically those people that God brings into our lives to help us see the part that we play in his program. God bless you. I hope you have a great weekend.